very close to the port when the explosion happened. So my house had been demolished. Thankfully, no one was at home. My family were not at the house. Based on what the current situation is, with a lot of people dealing with the fallout from the economic collapse, it's just really sad to walk around the streets sometimes and look at people. You can feel them, you can feel their despair sometimes when they're going in to buy their basic needs. It's very different from the situation 2 years ago, pre-pandemic, pre-explosion, pre-economic crisis. A lot of doctors and nurses have already filed for migration. They've already left, and we've got maybe double or triple the number who have left, already working on their papers.
I'm just sitting here looking at your precious little kids. So I know yesterday, look, you were in desperate need of help. You shared with my colleague Nick the heartbreaking details of what you and those 3 little girls are enduring, and it resonated with people. People so far have donated $89,000, and I just wanted to read a few of the messages that some of these people left for you, Kelly, and for your little girls. So one person gave $25 and said, quote, "I understand struggle. I don't have a lot, but I have enough to help another. Bless you and the adorable girls." And then someone else gave $20, and they wrote, and I quote them, "I saw your story and it brought a tear to my eye. When I saw the outpouring of love and support on your GoFundMe, it brought more tears. God bless you and your beautiful family. I hope this grows so big you can buy your own American dream." And it was people who didn't have much, and then someone gave you nearly $2,000 and said, "I'm sorry you've had to fight so hard to keep your kids safe. You are an incredible mom." These are amazing things to hear, Kelly. What do you say to them and others like them who reached out to you?
I just want to tell everybody thank you. Sorry, excuse me. I just want to tell everybody thank you so much. I'm still in denial if you can't really tell. It's a lot to take in. It's very sorry, girl. It's really overwhelming. These are tears of joy. Trust me. I'm just so thankful. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I would especially like to thank, I don't know if I can, but Kim, the one who reached out to my family. I'm so thankful. We're so thankful for you guys, because I had no idea what we were going to do. And just overnight, all you guys just reached out and helped us, and all the support, your encouraging words. It's just gave me a lot of hope, and I just want to make sure I do the best that I can to help the next person that is in my same situation. And I just felt really blessed, and just thank you guys so much. Honestly, I'm sorry.
No, of course, Kelly, of course. And we should just let you know, Kelly, the GoFundMe just went up to $97,000 while we were speaking. So, thank you.
I'm sorry.
I was just saying the GoFundMe is now at $97,000.
The one that was at 89 a minute ago?
Yes.
Is she?
Yes, $97,000.
This is crazy. I'm sorry. This is crazy. Oh my God. She just said it's at 97,000 right now. This is crazy. Thank you guys so much. Oh my God.
You and your family are worth it. You and your family are worth it. You're worth it. You are worth having your needs met.
Just No, just yesterday, just not having a clue just yesterday. This is crazy to me. Like, this is crazy.
Community.
Oh my God. There's so much support. This is great. Thank you guys.
The prerogatives of the majority. Okay, can we have some quiet, please?
All right, well, we've come here to this, what's meant to be a park, but it's actually, you can see, a dense area of forest outside of Kiev, the Ukrainian capital, where that Belarusian dissident, Vitaly Shishova, was found dead, hanging from a tree over here, just a few hours before we got here. So we've actually got right to the scene. And the actual tree, where we understand that he was found by police in the early hours of Tuesday morning, hanging by his neck here. And I don't know whether you can see this on the camera, you probably can't. The police have taken the rope away, but it was hanging from this branch above the ground, maybe 12 feet above the ground. We're also told by the police there were some steps arranged here, makeshift steps using logs. There was a cell phone that belonged to Vitaly Shishova as well. But it's all been taken away by the authorities, who are doing forensic tests to try and get to the bottom of it. Here, look. You see some of the forensic teams have left their rubber gloves on the floor here, which they've used obviously to pick up any evidence that they can. Some of the most important evidence is from the body itself, and obviously there's an autopsy being undertaken at the moment. But according to the latest police report, there were, abrasions on the face and on the knees of Vitaly, like, in the words of the police, that he'd fallen at least once. One of his colleagues who saw the body before it was taken away said that it looked like Vitaly had the scars of a violent death. And so that's obviously feeding in to all the suspicions that are percolating and circulating around this mysterious death. Okay. Well, look, you can see there's all bits of rubbish scattered around this whole area. It's obviously where there's been a campfire. It's a place that is kind of used, even though it's quite isolated. It's obviously used by the local walkers and things like that. And it's where Vitaly went jogging several times a week through these forest paths. And of course, he went jogging one morning and didn't come back. The question of who he was, I think, is relevant because, as I said, Vitaly Shishova was, within the Belarusian community here in Ukraine, relatively prominent. He ran something called the Belarusian House, which helped people escape from Belarus and escape the regime of Alexander Lukashenko. And then when they got to Ukraine, he found them work, helped to find them housing and things like that. He also organised protests and campaigns against the regime in Minsk. And so he was a known enemy of the authorities in Belarus. And that, as I say, could be relevant. The mystery of why this happened, the authorities say they're reserving judgment on. In fact, what the police say is at the moment they're looking at two possibilities. This was either murder or it was suicide, or possibly murder that was made to look like suicide. Now, everyone in public office here, prosecutors, the government officials in Ukraine, have stopped short of pointing the finger of blame directly in the Belarusian state. But there's definitely been a pattern of increasingly autocratic, tyrannical behaviour by President Alexander Lukashenko of Belarus. Just a couple of days ago, a Belarusian Olympic sprinter, of course, was attempted to be bundled out of Japan back to Belarus after she criticised her coaches. Earlier this year, another Belarusian dissident was flying on an aeroplane over Belarusian airspace when it was forced down onto the ground in Minsk, and he was taken off it and is still in detention now. You know, everyone's reserving judgment at this stage about who's responsible for this death. But if it is found to be the Belarusians, the Belarusian state, it would obviously mark a major escalation in that country's autocracy. Matthew Chance, CNN, in the forests outside of Kiev, Ukraine.
People when called me the famous bride or bride of Beirut, I remember the bad moments. ما بنحب even نرجع بالوقت بالذاكرة لهيداك الوقت especially أنا يعني أنا لدرجة إنه لليوم ما في إلي صورة دارسة هيداك النهار اللي أنا كنت ناطريته من زمان بيأثر فيه من ناحيتين. أول ناحية إنه أنا ما قدرت أنبسط، وتاني شغلة إنه هيدا النهار اللي أنت كنتي عم تتجوزي فيه وأنت هلا المفروض تكوني مبسوطة وهيك، بس كان على العالم اللبنانية كان ديزاستر. يعني ما في أنا أشوف أهل خسروا أولادهم أو أولاد خسروا أهلهم، الدمار اللي صار وأنا أنبسط، ما حأضحك على حالي.
انه هيدا نهار يعني ما بينعمل في شيء بالنسبه لنا نحن كانيفرساري او شيء، لانه هيدا نهار يعني مشؤوم لكل لبنان.
نحن عم نتروفز في بعض بيتروفز
على الدولار 20 الاشياء اللي مرقت على هالبلد من خلال هالسنه هيدي من الازمه الاقتصاديه والانفجار وتسكير البلد وازمه العمله كمان وهيك، هذا كله كان كثير عامل بيأثر على اي شخص عايش بلبنان. ما كانت صعبه بس انه الحمد لله عم نقطعها، فضل يعني انه نحن متفقين مع بعض ومتفاهمين وهيك، الحمد لله الحمد لله.
Our plan for the future is to travel, but we are here in Lebanon temporarily until we find a good place to go to and live there and build a family. We are looking for security. We don't want money. We're not looking for a fancy life. We just want security.
Another day, another dark episode for Belarusians. This time, an opposition activist found hanging from a tree in a park outside Kiev. For Vitaly Shishov helped Belarusian dissidents escape to here, neighbouring Ukraine. Friends said the authoritarian regime in Minsk likely killed him, but Ukrainian police said they were investigating two main theories: suicide or premeditated murder made to look like suicide. Currently, we see abrasions on the nose, peeled skin, and on the left knee and chest. Police said this can be characteristic of a one-time fall. Were it Belarus's KGB, yes, they still call it that there, it would be pretty much unprecedented for them to kill opponents abroad. You can see in how riot police tackle peaceful protest how the regime is at home. But it now seems bolder abroad, forcing the landing of a Ryanair jet in May so they could arrest an opposition blogger, and, according to Olympic athlete Kristina Timanovskaya, ordering her home on Sunday after upsetting the president. Belarus has said she was distressed and emotional, which she denied. She told me from safety in Tokyo that two men from the Olympic team escorted her to the airport, but it was her grandmother who made her realise she could not go home again.
It's happening after my grandmother's call, because before this call, I think maybe I can come back to home without any problem, but when she called to me and she say about this situation with our TV, so after this situation I decided in Belarus for me it will be dangerous.
And they would most likely grab me at the airport. I don't know, maybe a jail or maybe to a psychological hospital.
She still dreams of racing in the Olympics for Poland, where she'll stay for now. Did you ever imagine this would happen when you posted that Instagram video on Friday?
My trainer said that to send me home was not their decision, that it was just said to them to do this.
Your message for people in Belarus who are frightened of their government, what do you say to them?
Do not be afraid. Always say your opinion. We have to have freedom of speech, and people must say what they think.
All of this for Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko's counterpart and friend Vladimir Putin, either a huge headache he can do without, or a welcome new, worse dictator for the West to sanction and rail against. Last week, President Joe Biden met the woman Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, who wants to lead Belarus out of the Kremlin's grasp, and this day she met British Prime Minister Boris Johnson in London, amid growing fears Belarus could get anyone, even in exile.
If regime wants, they probably could reach everyone.
What do you need the West to do right now?
I think this happening because regime feels impunity. So it's high time to show teeth.
Nick Payton-Walsh, CNN, London.
Another school year in the age of COVID-19, but as college students prepare to head back to campus, there's a concern continuing to climb.
Students who are mentally, physically well perform better academically.
Bernadette Melnick, the chief wellness officer at The Ohio State University, says a survey of her students in April revealed 28% of those polled were suffering from the symptoms of depression. Another 42% hit the cutoff for clinical anxiety. 71% said they felt burned out. The results also show students struggling with these mental health issues drank more alcohol, used more tobacco or vaped more often, ate more unhealthy foods, and had less physical activity. That's why Melnick says establishing healthy habits is crucial.
They need to schedule physical activity, stress reduction, healthy eating in, just like they schedule courses.
Melnick says any student struggling with mental health should build coping and resiliency skills, get connected, find someone to help support their mental health, get involved to lessen isolation, and if anxiety or depression interfere with focus or concentration,
they cannot wait to get help.
Melnick says it's also critical for colleges and universities to invest in the mental health and well-being of their students. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
major new concern tonight about the future of Afghanistan and the Taliban, emboldened by the U.S. withdrawal. CNN's chief international correspondent Clarissa Ward is in Kabul, where a powerful explosion rocked the city. Clarissa.
Wolf, it was just before 8 p.m. when that loud blast shook the city. We actually ran up onto the roof. We could hear sporadic gunfire.